Wait a minute, y'all. Comment, like, and share, and comment. Comment, like, and share, and comment. The boy done switched up on you. Comment, like, and share, and comment. Comment, like, and share, and comment. Comment, like, and share, and comment. And I know you lying. Comment, like, and share, and comment. So, it's gonna sit like it. Alright, honey. Alright, honey. Let's get it. Let's get it. Wait a minute, y'all. You guys look. If this is your very first time on this channel, remember to subscribe for us. And after you subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell beside the word subscribe so that you will be notified each and every time that we upload a video. And then welcome to this great channel. Now that you're a part of it, there's some things that we do. And we do them every day because they help us grow. Those things are comment, like a share, and comment for the team. Comment, like a share, and comment for the team. Comment, like a share, and don't forget to comment, like a share. Comment, like a share. Comment, like a share. Don't forget to comment, like a share. Comment, like a share. Comment, like a share. Don't forget to comment, like a share. Okay, guys, check this out. We're going to go ahead and pray. We're going to get into the goodness. Here we go. Hey, man. How y'all doing today? How y'all doing today? How y'all doing today? Y'all, guess what? You already know it. Just Being is here today. Just Being is here. Just Being is here. Just Being is here today, baby. He's here to help us get to eat and everything. And I want to see if he's nice and refreshing. He is. Okay, guys. Today, Just Being has Diet Mountain Dew in him today. Okay, you guys, today for the food. Before I let you know that, though, I also got my lips hot sauce. If you like your bottle of Whip Top Scoop in blue, hit that link in right there. You can get your lips hot sauce. And merch. Okay, you guys, today for the food, baby, we have got us some barbecue pig pizza over sauerkraut. That's what we got. That's what we got. That's what we're finna eat. I'm hungry. Let's get to eating. Okay, y'all, we got this kraut down here with this barbecue and things, stuff and everything. Okay, y'all, here's your first bite. Just a sauerkraut. Baby. Can I have all the tray for my bones up here, please? All right, y'all, let's get one of these trotters out of here. Oh, it's hot. Let's get one of these. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, hey. Barbecue trotter. Ooh, I'm gonna taste it first, y'all, before I put the hot sauce on him. Okay, he hot though. Ooh, he hot. Y'all, him hot. There you go. Oh, that got good right quick. Just right there. Barbecue trotters over sauerkraut. And it's so hot I can barely pick it up. That's all right. Y'all, that pussy is good, honey. You just look at them. So how y'all doing today? How y'all doing today? I hope you guys are doing divine. I really do. I hope that you are doing divinely, honey. I hope that you are. Because it is a beautiful day the Lord has made. Now let us be glad and rejoice in it. We got some top right today, y'all. Let me get a little bit more to eat now. Let me get a little bit more to eat though. Let me get just a little bit more. Cause these pussies, it's a big one back here, y'all. Ooh, big old pussies is back here. Let me say. Ooh. I dropped that bone, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Y'all know about the crowd. With the barbecue, just some onions in the front and everything. It's so tender. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Yes, they are, honey. Yes, I'm ears. There ain't go. Oh, Y'all, it's good. It's good. Y'all. Woo! That damn Mountain Dew is in the spot, baby. Yes, it is. Okay, y'all. Today. We're going to talk about compassion. Okay? In a little different way. But compassion. Now, compassion and suffering go hand in hand. They go hand in hand. But the compassion I want to talk about is the compassion for yourself. Compassion is to see, find out about, hear, to know of one's suffering. Okay? To relate with it, to try to understand it, and have an urgency to mend or fix that suffering. You know what I mean? That's what compassion means. It's easy to have compassion for others. It's easy to have compassion for somebody else's situation, you know? But I want to know, do you have compassion for yourself? And do you have a plan and a sense of urgency to mend Or correct your own suffering. That's what I want to know. I have said as many times I can remember on this show. The number one person in life you got to take care of is yourself. It's you. You can't be no help to me if your own head ain't screwed all right. So do you have compassion for you? Let me tell you why. You are the most perfect person in the world to have compassion for yourself. You are the perfect person in the world to have compassion for yourself. Because remember, I told you, compassion goes hand in hand with suffering. There is no person on this earth that should be able to relate to your own suffering than you. That's why I want to know you have compassion for yourself. Because all suffering in our lives need compassion in order to be able to mend, and correct that suffering. You know what I mean? So what better person to do it than yourself? I find that a lot of times in life, y'all, that we don't pay enough attention to ourselves. But then want to get mad at the next person because they don't have compassion for your struggle. Well, how do you even know that they understood the task? How do you even know that they understood the struggle that you're having? How you know? But what you do know, there is one person that will always understand the struggle that you have. That's you. You've got to have compassion for yourself, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all, you got to have compassion for yourself. Because you're the best person in the world to mend and fix your own suffering. Or at least you and God can get together and mend that suffering. But who better to do it than yourself? Most people find it easy to have compassion for other people. It's easy to hear a horrible story about someone else and have compassion for them and want to help and want to fix their situation. You want to mend. You know, you can relate. Meanwhile, you struggle with forgiving yourself. You're struggling with giving yourself permission to take up some space. Because you haven't found a way to have compassion for yourself. You've got to find a way to be compassionate for yourself. Most things in life that we go through and we can't get over and that doesn't feel like there is a forgiveness for it. First of all, that's when you make sure that you get a strong connection about that thing with the good Lord, okay? But for your own suffering, yourself, whether you make that suffering be upon you, yourself, or if it's an attribute that came along with someone else, the suffering is the same that you feel. But you've got to find a way to be compassionate to you. You got to be able to understand your suffering. You got to be able to be empathetic. For your own suffering. Just as if like you were seeing one of them infomercials on TV. I don't know. Most of y'all around my age, the biggest portion of my audience is around my age. You know what I mean? Within 10 years of or 10 years above. Either way. So I know most of y'all shouldn't remember back in the day on regular television, there used to be these commercials about these kids, little big kids in Africa, and it came on all the time. Well, you send your money to help these children out of a bad situation. It was easy to watch that commercial and have compassion for those little children. It was easy. But what about compassion for me? I got some suffering going on here myself internally. I got some suffering going on here myself in my home. I got some suffering going on here myself in my relationship with me and God. I got some suffering going on here because of what was happening to me when I was a child. I got some suffering going on here because my job treated me wrong. I got some suffering going on here because my boyfriend don't understand how I feel. I got some suffering going on myself. That's why I said, do you have compassion for you? What better person to mend and try to rectify and fix your own suffering than you? You got to have compassion for you. Because there's going to be some things that the outside world or other people looking at you. There's going to be some things about your life and your suffering that only you and God going to know. There's going to be some things about your struggle and your suffering, baby, that ain't nobody on this earth going to know. And nobody going to know but you and God. So you got to use that same energy. You know how they run the commercials all the time about them, what are the ASPCA dogs or animals, where they always want somebody to send some money and help the animals and this and that, and they've been treated wrong and they're locked up in cages, and we need money to run over on these other folks' property and take their stuff and take their dogs and treat them right and this and that and all that kind of stuff. But they want you to send some money. Those commercials are to make you feel compassion for those animals. That's what it's designed for. Well, I'm here to tell you, in life, you got to run your own commercial in your own head about your own suffering yourself. For real. You don't know how many times. I've run into a situation where people are fighting mad at other folks because they felt like other people didn't have compassion for their suffering. You know what I mean? But you wouldn't feel that way if your relationship with God was strong, because you know He got compassion for you. But here earthly, you learn how to have compassion for yourself. For yourself. A lot of things in life we can't forgive ourselves about because we haven't learned to have compassion for us. For our own self. There's a whole bunch of people right now, a whole bunch of people today gonna be listening to my boy. They can't forgive themselves for what they done 5 years ago to their husband, or 2 years ago to their boyfriend, or last week with their girlfriend, or, excuse me, or a bad decision they made for their child. That's because they don't have compassion in their heart for their own self. How can you truly have compassion for another? I mean, you see things that pull your heartstrings, you hear stories that pull your heartstrings, yes you do. But I'm talking about compassion that makes you have a thing in the inside that wants to mend, that wants to fix that suffering. A whole lot of people in the world walking around. You gotta people where act right. With extra baggage on their heart, on their head, and in their life, because they simply hadn't figured out they have compassion for themselves. You got to have compassion for you. You have got to have a plan. You have got to have a want, a need. It's necessary for you to have a want and a need to mend and fix your own suffering. Hey, a lot of people don't understand that. They think that you just going to live through and you'll make it and you pray to God and da-da-da-da. But you got to have compassion for yourself, baby. There's a whole lot of things in life that people are walking around with today, will be tomorrow, and probably the next day again, but simply because of the fact they cannot forgive themselves for things they've done. And the reason why they can't forgive themselves is what? Now you get it. Because they don't have compassion for their own suffering. They just want to go ahead and live day to day, get through the next day, not forgiving themselves, down on themselves, not giving themselves room. It's okay. I'm letting you know here today. When God breathed air into your body, He gave you permission to take up some room. Take up some room in the world. You know, have compassion for you. You deserve compassion just like everybody else. So, if you can have the same feeling of compassion for little kids, some may have across the world that you ain't never seen in your life. They may send you a picture of one of them, but they don't send that picture out to millions of people. You know what I mean? What I'm saying is you may have, if you have the ability to have compassion for those little children, if you have the ability to have compassion for animals that are being mistreated, not in a good home, locked in cages, if you have the ability to have compassion for them, what about you? You got to find a way to have that same ability to have compassion for yourself. Want to mend your own suffering. Want to eradicate. Want to fix your own suffering. Have compassion for yourself and let your own self out of prison. The prison of your head and your heart is trapping you from being all that God wants you to be. It all starts with being able to have compassion for yourself. I done told you a million times before. Honey, you can't help nobody else if you can't help yourself. If there's anything in life that I've learned, is that anything that I expect, anything that I want, anything that I desire, anything that I feel like that I need from another person, there's always a better person to do it for me, and that's myself. Another person can make me happy like I can make myself happy. Another person can't cook my food better for me than I cook for myself. Because I know me better than they do. So why is it not important for us as people to have compassion for ourselves? You got to have compassion for you. You got to. That way you make sure that you don't get missed out on the compassion train for whatever it is that you're going through for your own suffering. How you going to have compassion for everybody else in the world? Ain't got no compassion for yourself. I'm telling y'all, there's a whole lot of people in this world. There's going to be a whole lot of them listening to me. They haven't forgiven. Don't want to forgive, or they want to, or just can't forgive themselves for some things they've done in their life simply because of the fact that they don't have compassion for themselves. You got to have compassion for you, brothers and sisters. You got to know that God gave you room to take up some space. You got to know that God gave you some room to make some mistakes. You got to know that God made some room for you to cause suffering on yourself. But you got to have compassion for it, to forgive yourself. If you can't relate to and if you can't relate to your own suffering, which you know better than anybody else, you know what I mean? You know your own suffering better than anybody. If you can't relate to your own suffering and have a desire to mend and fix your own suffering for yourself, how genuine do you think your compassion is toward others? If you can't find a way to have compassion for yourself and forgive yourself for the suffering that you have inflicted on yourself or family members, however, if you cannot find a way to have compassion for you, your own self, how genuine do you think your compassion is for others? You may send that $20, $30 for them animals. Really and truly, you may. You may send that money they ask you for the children across the country, wherever they are. You may. You may feel like that you truly had compassion for their situation. But I can tell you right now, if you ain't learned how to have true compassion for yourself and forgive yourself for the things that you've done, the suffering that you have created for yourself or others, your compassion for other people is really not true. It can't be, because there's no way that you can relate to their suffering better than you can relate to your own. There's no way possible that you can relate to another person's suffering better than you can relate to your own suffering. And that's what compassion is. Being able to recognize, relate to suffering of a person and want to mend it, want to fix it, wanting to make it better. Well, that starts with you yourself. That mending, that fixing, that compassion starts for yourself. I'm telling y'all, y'all may think I'm telling you a lot, but there's a whole lot of people walking around on this earth. And there's going to be a whole lot of people that's listening to me today in this video that do not have compassion for themselves. They're walking around disgusted, mad at themselves, can't forgive themselves for something they done, can't forgive themselves for suffering that they have called upon themselves. So therefore they cannot forgive themselves because they don't have compassion for the suffering that they cause on themselves. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, it's true. But I'm going to tell you something. Get that relationship with God right. And ask him. Pray for compassion for yourself. That way you can release yourself from the suffering that you're holding in because you can't forgive yourself. Have compassion for you, and I'm finna get up out of here. I hope you guys have enjoyed that truth to do. I hope you guys have enjoyed, okay? So all my new legions, thank you guys so much for being here. I truly appreciate each and every one of you because you did not have to be here. You could have chosen to be the ones in the world, but you chose to be right here with us, and we love you for it. So all my distant legion, hey, round and round we go, hey, round and round we go. I love you guys so much, and I'm gonna see you guys next time, okay? Oh, wait a minute, y'all. You guys look. Always remember that there's always more than one way home. All you still have to do is get there. So get there, people. Get there. I love you all. And I'm going to see you guys next time. And if you're not to watch me next time, you have lied to me. And I know you lied. Period. Bye-bye. Woo. Bye-bye. I'm done. I'm done. Baby. Real talk, y'all. Real talk. You gotta have compassion for you. You gotta have compassion for you. I'm telling you, most times it's easy for us as people to have compassion for even animals before we have compassion for ourselves. As you know, a whole lot of us walk around with a lot of suffering in ourselves that can't be mended by other people. Because we need to have compassion for ourselves to release that. You gotta have compassion for you. That's one of the building blocks of being happy for yourself. You gotta have compassion for you. Okay? I love y'all. Where you at, baby? I'm through. I'm through. Oh. Okay. I'm trying to let them have compassion for themselves. You was sweet. Bye, y'all. I love y'all. Don't forget what I said. Don't forget what I said. I'm telling you, there's a whole lot of y'all are going to be watching the video today. You cannot forgive yourself for something you've done either to yourself, or a child, or family member, or somebody. There's some suffering that you've caused that you cannot forgive yourself for. And that's because you don't have compassion for you. Okay. Love you. Bye-bye.